All right. Well, it looks like we're live right now, and welcome everybody to the live show. So this morning, I just kind of want to start off something, um, and I think it's a topic. Hey, what's up, the individual? It's a topic that I think gets a lot of people aggravated with mobile service providers, and that would be subsidized fee charges. And I know that this topic gets kind of touchy because people they don't want to hear that they have extra fees with their service provider for changing to a plan. Um, of course, you have customer service reps who cannot explain exactly what a subsidized fee is, or they say it in a way that just, I mean, in general, it's going to be negative no matter which way you slice it. Hey, what's up, Pop Trigger? Um, so let's kind of just take a moment to kind of dive into that, what a subsidized fee is on your. Good morning, Michael Thomas. Exactly what it is, because it's something that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. So, I'm just going to kind of like shed a little explanation on it. It's not to say that, you know, people shouldn't care about these fees. I mean, you feel about them how you want to feel about them. Essentially, before lease agreements, installment billings came out, basically people bought phones at a subsidized price and they owned the phone, right? So like you can buy like a $900 phone. If you agreed to a 2-year contract, you would get that. Now, on Sprint side of things, they have their unlimited freedom plan, and that is already a discounted plan compared to what you would, pay with other providers. It is discounted. And the thing is with that plan, and the reason why they built that plan was because they were shifting away from 2-year contracts to now doing installments over phones. And since those installments, you're buying the phone at basically full suggested retail price, that's exactly, you know, pretty expensive. So it's a $900 phone. It's a $900 phone you're paying for. If you're under installments, you broke that payment up over 24 months. If you're on a lease, you paid like 85% of the price of the phone throughout the lease agreement, and it allowed you the option to give back the phone if you didn't want to keep it and upgrade to another phone. If you decided you wanted to keep it, then that last 15%, which was the purchase amount buyout, is what you would pay. So those things can get pretty expensive because you can end up with an installment payment monthly of like $30, $40. That was really weird. Like, I don't know if the broadcast ended. But yeah, it just kind of like freaked out for a second there on the viewfinder. But yeah, if you bought a phone on a 2-year contract from Apple, per se, and then with that, you got it at a discounted rate. So if you jump on a discounted plan, Sprint took the hit. Like Sprint does not recover at all whatsoever for a phone that's purchased at a subsidized price. Even if like you bought it before they ended 2-year contract. Say you bought a Galaxy S7 Edge on a 2-year contract, and you only paid $150 for it. So the price difference, Sprint does not recover that at all. The recovery was your commitment over 2 years. So if you switch over to the unlimited freedom plan, which is already a discounted plan, and you got a discounted phone, the two can't go together. But if you are willing and forced to do so, then there's a 25 sub fee. And most of the time when I see it a lot, do you use Hangouts? If so, they could just be down or having some problems. Probably, yeah, that's what I'm using right now. Um, but basically, there's been times where, customers want to save money, and switching them to an unlimited freedom plan, even though they're going to incur a 25 sub fee, is a whole lot more less on their bill than what they were currently on as a grandfathered plan. But still, people focus on that 25 sub fee. And having to explain that to a customer, they get pretty irate. And this is because people don't want to be charged extra money. And I get that, I wouldn't want to be charged extra money. But there are things in place for a reason. I mean, everything in life has rules, boundaries, and guidelines. It just doesn't break for one person and stand for the next person. And a lot of people feel like that in customer service, that's what customer service is for. Customer service is there to break rules for them, but keep the rules for everybody else. Like in the end of the day, and people don't really think about this because they're not concerned for a company's survivability. Because let's just say that Sprint did shut down. Well, they can move on to the next carrier, so it's no thing for them. But as a business owner, you're in it to make money, and you're gonna do things that are gonna be beneficial to make your customers content. The idea in business today is not to make a customer happy, to make them content. That's the whole thing. Because if a customer is like fully happy, then it's come to a point where the company is taking a loss. So customer happy, company taking a loss. So they have to meet in the middle. They have to find that gray area. That gray area is customer content, because the customer will be content with what they're getting, and the company will be content with the fact of what they're giving, and it's not, hindering them from continuing to do business. So that's where it all lies down. So granted, people don't like 25 sub fees. I don't either, but it's there. And Sprint's not the only one that does them. AT&T does them. Verizon does them. T-Mobile does them. But most of the consumers on those carriers have already pretty much migrated over to getting phones under installments. And so that's pretty much just the explanation I want to put out there. It was a really interesting article I read on Reddit, which is why I wanted to kind of talk about it this morning, just to shed some light on how that stuff works. Because I know that some people explain it so differently, and it could really escalate situations. So I figured I'd put that information out there, and it's out there now. For anyone that wants to know about it or just understand what it's for, now it's there. So now that we got that out the way, how are you guys doing this morning? Thanks for you guys who's popping in right now and watching. That's pretty awesome. I appreciate that. So it's been a crazy hectic week. Which was the better value for customers? The old subsidized 2-year contract plans or today's installment plans? I mean, it kind of depends on just how you look at it. Because I mean, yeah, back then 2-year contracts, you got phones at a subsidized price, but then you would actually be looking at a higher rate plan. So let's say that Sprint never joined the bandwagon and decided to not do installments at all. Say that every phone that they offered, you can purchase at a subsidized price. Well, then to get a fully unlimited plan, you would be looking at, the same or even higher rates than Verizon for an unlimited service plan per line. So it's just really, which of the two would you rather pay less for? Because a 2-year contract over time, paying on let's say like $90 for unlimited talk, text, and data, that goes on for 24 months, right? And even then, if you were to complete your 2-year contract, it stays $90 for unlimited talk, text, and data even after that. On installments, you're getting a phone over 24 months, you're paying the phone. So you're actually putting money towards a physical device and not towards time. So when you complete your 24-month installment, and say you're on the unlimited freedom plan, that's $65, $60 with dollar pay, and you pay off your phone and you completely own your phone, well then let's say you were paying $40 for the iPhone 10, because that's how much it costs monthly. So you, on the unlimited freedom one line iPhone 10, you're paying about like 105 before tax. So with taxes, probably like 115 or whatever, depending on your state and where you're from. Once you pay off your phone, your bill drops down to 65. So in a way, 2-year agreements were good because you got to get like the most expensive phone at a subsidized discounted rate. And then again, it kind of hindered because it would have had higher price rates. Whereas in installments, you paid for the phone, which made your bill a little bit higher. But once you completed that, your monthly bill drop down. So, I mean, that's just where I kind of see it at. But again, again today, one of the biggest, I think, another biggest thing that Sprint gets a bad rep for is double billing. And from what I've seen so far, Sprint doesn't double bill people. That's not exactly what the double billing is. But here's where the double billing comes in from. It's mostly happens when people change their plan rate. And when they change their plan rate in the middle of the bill cycle, they incur prorated charges because of changing your plan in the middle of your bill cycle rather than at the start of your next bill cycle. So you are charged X amount of days for your old plan and you are charged X amount of days for your new plan. Hence double billing. But the one thing I think that people get upset about is that Sprint does bill another 1 month in advance for the change, which, honestly, they say it's to secure the account because, customers may want to churn and leave. Um, I think if they didn't do the 1 month in advance, then it would lessen a lot of the headaches that they have. But that's just me, because I can name you guys 1,001 reasons that, why Sprint's in fourth place and things that they're doing wrong. That's something that, I can see from the internal side of things. Again, give out things from the internal side, but I can tell you some of the things that I see that, frustrate people and why Sprint is in fourth place. But at the same time, too, it's not always all bad. It's just always miscommunication and sometimes people not willing to understand things, or, like they look at it like it's like Burger King. They got to have it their way. So anyhow, let's just get away from Sprint because Sprint's annoying. So what do you guys think of Apple's release of the HomePod, which is, they're finally coming out with, a home assistant speaker, kind of like, Amazon Alexa and Google Home. What are your guys' thoughts about it? Like, what do you guys think about it? Do you guys think that this thing is going to be like absolutely good? It's going to be another thing that Apple did that other companies have done first, but Apple, quote unquote, is going to do better? Are you guys actually going to pick one up? Like, I'm interested in knowing that because it is pretty cool to see that now Apple and Apple fans actually have something similar to what Android users with in the Google ecosystem have, and that's with them being able to have a home assistant, plug and play. Google Home Max is better. Google Home Max, I'll be honest with you guys. When they first started mentioning that, Google was coming out with 2 more home assistant products, and they rumored that the Google Home Max was going to have a touch display. I really thought that it was going to have a touch display, like how they have those. What do they call them now? They're not tablets, but they're called smart displays. Yeah, Google Home Max is better. They were called smart displays. I really thought that the Google Home Max was going to be a smart display. I literally thought that. When they actually unveiled them, the Google Home Mini being the little hockey puck size speaker, and then the Google Home Max being like a giant boombox. And I was like, it's still cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking on the Home Max, but I was hoping that it was gonna be what the concept arts was, which was a smart display. But nevertheless, Google Home Max, yeah. I've heard a lot of good reviews about it, but I'm very interested in knowing what you guys think about the HomePod from Apple. Because I mean, there's people talking about it right now. They're kind of concerned, if it's going to be a hit or miss, because I know that while the iPhone 10 is very popular and everything, the iPhone 10 did kind of take a semi-hit. Hold on real quick. Let me adjust the window outside real quick. I'm going to be right back, guys. But just go ahead and feel free to let's see. Okay, I'll do that. I should subscribe to your channel. I believe I did. Hang on. I'm gonna get some more lighting outside. And Okay. I'm a budget user, so I can't justify a secondary device that basically does the same thing as my phone. Sure, the audio quality is much better, but I mostly listen to music with headphones. Okay, I got you. Yeah. And really, I kind of expect that because I mean that's where my channel has been mostly circulated around is finding, prepaid phones, budget devices, budget, electronics, and showcasing that. I think, another person that does that, but probably does it way better than me, is actually Budget Tech Reviews. So he finds some pretty cool stuff. The home part from Apple is good for the Apple ecosystem, but as for Android, because that's non-existent. Okay. You've heard rumors about the Google speaker. Elaborate more on that. What do you mean by the Google speaker? Because there's Google Home, which is a smart assistant speaker. So you have like three different sizes. You have the original one that looks like an air freshener or a room freshener. You have the mini, which looks like a hockey puck, and then you have the max, which looks like a big old boombox. I can almost guarantee you that somebody is going to try to rig their car to have the Google Home Max in there as like not like a sound system that can compete with 12-inch woofers or anything like that, but nonetheless to have a decent audio quality speaker setup that also has a built-in assistant. And it's possible because I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, I could literally rig Google Home Max in my Scion. All I really had to do was get the speaker into the car, find a sufficient power source for it to connect to all the time. And then where's that little thing at? If I was to add another line onto my account and put the SIM card in here, I can have this literally in my car for Wi-Fi. And I was thinking it could work. It could literally work. It would be like the most ghetto rig setup ever, but it could work. And I'm like, someone's gonna do it. I know someone is. So I don't know. I'm quite excited for those people who are immersed in Apple's ecosystem because they're finally going to have an assistant speaker to actually work with them on it and be able to say they have one now. Because you have the Amazon Echo, you have Google Home. Warning: don't buy a Google speaker. Government can spy on you. Well, let's be a little bit realistic about that. Interesting point you just said. The government can spy on you. Now let's be very, very real, okay? The government could be watching right now. They could be watching me from the camera on my Chromebook. They could be watching me from the camera on my smartphone. They could listen in onto anything that you're doing. I mean, right now, if they wanted to, they can hack your phone and basically listen from your microphone and hear everything that you're saying and what everyone else is saying. The thing is that in today, the way that we are, they really don't need to spy on us because we make everything we do available. Sure, some of us will try to spicing up our lives and make our lives look more interesting than what it really is, i.e. Instagram and Snapchat, where we only show what we want the world to see. But people post a lot of their dirt like on Facebook. I mean, tell me this. Have you guys ever been on Facebook with the amount of friends that you have? Have you guys ever seen someone post on there their laundry? Like who they're mad at, what happened, why it happened, Have you guys ever seen that? Because I mean, I've seen that on mine. I've seen people will go to the distance. They'll literally like if friends of mine on Facebook who are dating, one cheats on the other one, their fight won't be behind closed doors. Their fight will be on Facebook for everybody to see. And that is that's out there for people to see. So bet he is on Google Speaker. Who are you talking about? Who's on Google Speaker? The government's been watching their own citizens for decades now. Exactly, TJ, you got it right. Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't buy it, and yeah, that's your choice not to buy it. No one, no one's forcing you to get it. And Tito, did you use smart assistants like Siri or Google Assistant often? I use it a lot. I use Google Assistant a lot, especially Google Home in my house. I use it to listen to the news. I let it read me stories. I use it as a home phone now that it's enabled phone call. So it uses my Google Voice number, and when I'm at home, if people call me, they can call me. I can talk to them through it. So it's actually pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, but TJ said it pretty much said it, guys. Like the government's been spying on us for the longest time. I mean, how do you think they caught some of those criminals that rob banks and whatnot? And then would go on Facebook and post that they robbed a bank. Nothing's private nowadays. Exactly, nothing is private nowadays. Everything is put out there for the world to see, and that's just because people want to feel like that people care about their lives. That's what social media has done. That's what live streaming has done. It has connected people to the point that people feel like that the world needs to know everything that they're doing. Like, I share my life with you guys because I think you guys are awesome. So I have social media accounts that you guys can follow. If you guys are interested, you guys want to know, what restaurants I'm eating at, what types of things I like to do for fun, places I'm exploring. I share that for you guys. And that's because I choose to do it. Um, but it's giving people a platform to basically showcase their lives and make them feel like they're worth something, because for the longest time, and I know this is going to sound very preachy and everything, but without social media before, people kind of like lived a dull life in a sort of way. They had a lot of self-esteem issues, and so social media kind of opened that door to really showcase who they are as a person. Sure, it opened up other types of things like catfishing. Catfishing is like really bad. People made up lies for themselves to attract other people that they felt they would never get in real life. And I mean, that's the double-edged sword effect there. There's stuff that you keep off the internet, and there's stuff that you keep on the internet. I just keep that. Yeah, there's some things you can share. If you eat a delicious dinner at Chili's and you want to share what it is so other people can try it, you share that. But when you're having marital problems or things like that, those things should stay off the internet, but people don't. So really the government doesn't have to get all, secret squirrel and go and spy on you through your phone or through your camera. Most people today just share their stuff out there. So all they have to do is just go to your Facebook and read your account, pretty much have an understanding what you're about. Do you turn encryption on your Android devices? No, I don't. I don't, because I mean, there's nothing for me to hide. Like my life is an open book. I have no fears of the government coming after me for anything. I'm a small person. Like if I was to rally here, like say today I hold it a live stream to rally against the government, one, it's not going to catch the attentions of millions of people. Like no one really absolutely cares to know what I'm saying. There's a few people that do that I appreciate, but the rest of the world doesn't care what I have to say. So the government knows I'm no threat to them. I couldn't spark a revolution against the government, even if I was like dead serious wanting to try. It's just not gonna happen. I'm not that person. So I mean, for me, I don't need things to be like super secured down. The only thing I need it secured down for is for hackers. Which did you guys see that T-Mobile customers were getting text message alerts letting them know about a phone hacking thing that is going on right now, whereas to hackers are, they're getting they're getting your phone number, and I'm trying to remember exactly what they said, because they mentioned that now if you're wanting to port out from T-Mobile, you're going to have like other things to authenticate who you are before porting out, because whoa, Pop Trigger, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And yeah, actually, I am. My schedules for streaming is going to be Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, every week, not every day of the week, but Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays in the morning, I am going to stream 3 days in a row, back to back. So on those days, you can rest assured, unless different. If you follow me on Twitter or on Snapchat, I post on there if I'm going to stream on that day, and I do it before that happens. But I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So Yeah. Where was I at with all this? Yes. TJ says yes. Um, that whole thing with that with the phone hacking is absolutely crazy that it's coming to that point. And I mean, it's possible. The things that we used to only see in movies like Mission Impossible and James Bond movies are actually starting to come to fruition in today's day. It's becoming a reality. I mean, we're even tapping into holographic technology for communications. Just imagine being able to talk to someone who is a full 3D hologram in front of you. I mean, they are pushing the boundaries of technology every day. And even though we do have now a coalition started from former Facebook and former Google employees who are trying to fight the companies based on the fact that we are becoming too dependent and too immersed in technology for our own good. Technology has done some good things. It has made some revolutionary breaks. I mean, we do need it. We can't completely just ditch technology and go back to the Stone Age. We have a lot of things in life that we have to worry about and think about. Um, One of the things that scares me the most that I think about till today, and I don't know if you guys seen that movie with Nicolas Cage, The Knowing, where those aliens came to Earth and humans who were sensitive to their call were technically the chosen ones that this alien race was going to save because they predicted all these catastrophic events in our lifetime, including the end of the planet, which came in from a solar flare out that was so powerful that it could reach the Earth, and that because it did, it actually damaged our magnetic field, penetrated it, and actually scorched one side of the planet, but flash boiled millions of gallons of water, which then pretty much destroyed the other half of the world. So initially killing our planet. And if you were to look up into like solar flares from the sun and really read into it, it is possible. And there has been solar flare-outs that were so long they actually reached the distance to Earth. But we on this planet were lucky enough to be on the other side of the sun when it happened. So it's to say that what's the probable chances that we will one day be right in the line of fire of a solar flare-out from the sun? It's inevitable. It may happen. And those are the things that I think about and the fear that I have in that. And technology is allowing us to make advancements on looking for other habitable planets that not we as in us physically now, but maybe future generations of who we are, like humans, may reach a planet that is considered to be habitable. I already know, and I'm a big person in astronomy and whatnot. I already know that they have several planets that didn't consider they call Earth 2, or there are 3 more other planets that are Earth-like. They're at the right distance between the planet and the sun in order to sustain life. Yeah, some of the planets are bigger. I think like one of them, I forgot what its name was, but this Earth-like planet was so big that 1 year for that planet is actually, I want to say, 720 days or something like that. So it'd be like a longer year. So consider having like 13, 14, or 15 months in a year rather than just 12. But it's quite interesting. But with technology, it'll allow us to make that advancement to go beyond. I'm going to start sounding like Star Trek here, but to go and travel and migrate to another planet for our species to survive. I mean, there've already been talks of colonizing on Mars. I read these things. It's kind of weird. And the way that we're going to be able to do that is by using technology. So technology is not all bad. It's just people got to use it in moderation. They got to be able to separate what's important for them in life and what's important to them through the digital world. It's separating it. If you're on Facebook, if your child's crying and they're hungry, then I think that's more important than finding out who said what on Facebook. Does that mean that if the years are longer, we age slower? I'm not sure. That's a very good theory there. That's a very good thing. I'm not sure if we age slower. Um, because I know that we are affected by the environment, basically our environment, what we live on. We live on Earth, Our age is actually dependent upon a 12-month cycle. So every 12 months, we consider ourselves 1 year older. But I don't know if it's going to physically affect our bodies. I think our bodies are going to age just the same as they've always aged. And it's just that it would, for documentation, it takes 720 days for you to be considered another year older, which is kind of weird. Do you kind of sound like a Star Trek movie? Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I like technology, especially mobile technology, but there's other stuff that I'm into, and astronomy is another one. I'm very interested, for planets, stars, and whatnot. I remember, having talks and debates about the whole Planet X and the Nibiru theory, that people are like really convinced that that planet was going to collide with Earth. Okay. So moving a little bit past that. So an article basically that was posted up that I thought was pretty interesting that people were starting to talk about it again, because it's kind of an article that kind of like regurgitates and recycles out there. Devices and their expectancy to upgrade. Have you revealed what Chromebook you bought yet? No, I have not. I'm going to later today. That video I'm working on, and it's going to be, I'm going to edit it, put it together, and then I'm going to have it up today. So you guys will see what I'm using right now to live stream. However, so it was just interesting to see people's responses, to the question being asked, like how long should a manufacturer continue software updates on their hardware, and not like security patches. Security patches, they got to be there obviously to patch vulnerabilities that's been discovered, but actual software updates like moving from Nougat to Oreo and Oreo to pecan pie, or whatever they're going to call Android peanut butter patty or whatever. There are people that were wanting at least 2 years. So I'm really interested to know what you guys think. Like, and realistically, like, let's not say 10 years, because components in an electronic device become outdated, I would say within 3 to 4 years. So anything that's new and compatible for newer technology is not going to be really optimized for older technology. But we do know that a lot of these smartphones they build today have a good life expectancy on it. I believe one person said that the way that smartphones are being built today, they have an expected 10-year lifespan, and that's if you were to continuously give software updates for the hardware. So maybe 10 years. But what do you guys really think? Like, what do you guys really feel that the manufacturer like Motorola and LG, like how long should they keep updating their current catalog of hardware? Just got an email that HTC is going to be coming out with a new smartphone, mid-range 5.5-inch screen, the HTC Breeze. They're going to unveil the phone at Mobile World Congress. Awesome. And that's interesting. Is there any talks of exactly which carrier it's targeted for? Like, is it targeted more for like T-Mobile, AT&T, or is it going to be like a universal type phone that can go on all 4 carriers? That would be interesting to know. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Just throw it out there. Any number you feel like. Do you feel the phone should have at least 2 software updates before being retired out? Do you think it should have 3 or 4? Like, I'm interested to know what you guys think. Where would it be at? Because obviously software updates is very important to consumers out there who buy hardware. I mean, I really wish that was a more focal point, because sometimes you run into a phone, you buy a phone, you like the phone, you don't want to use anything else for the foreseeable future. But then again, you're forced to, because, say the next version of Android comes out and it has key features that, they say is not coming to your phone, but then you're like, I want those features, or I need to use those features like battery optimization, or some sort of user interface performance. I think the more software updates, the better, but don't overdo it. Yeah, I mean, as we look through it, because we're already we're in February right now. We got Mobile World Congress. We got Google I/O, I believe, in April or May. And I know we all know what they're going to be doing is they're going to be unveiling their beta project for the next version of Android, but it's Android 9.0, and what key things it's going to do. And then they're also going to be unveiling, some things that they're working on behind the scenes. And so we're already looking to get another one. Sometimes a software update fixes a problem on a phone. Other times it makes it slower and laggy. Yeah. Basically the same things that Apple got called out for their, intentional slowdowns of their phones. I remember when everyone was just going so bananas over it. And it was like, what did people expect? I mean, yes, Apple did it. I'm sure other manufacturers have done it too. As for the software updates, they should increase it another 2 years. Okay, so like 4 years, right? For 4 years, they should basically provide software updates for devices, hardware that they relieve. Not relieve, but they release. So that's basically the idea of it, was just basically for 4 years. And that's not bad. So that seems reasonable to me. Because if you kind of see what they did with the Galaxy S6, it works. The Galaxy S6 is getting an update to 8.0 Oreo, from what I've read. And we're already on the Galaxy S8. So 2 generations behind, and it's getting it. That's cool. And I actually noticed that because they did the same for the J7 on Boost Mobile. The original J7, not the J7, what's it called? That's the J3 Emerge. What's the other one called? Someone help me out here. Google hasn't really made a notable feature updates since Android 6.0 with DOS mode and adaptable storage. Can't think of any standout features from Nougat or Oreo. I think one of the things that Oreo was able to do that for me was a standout feature was the ability for you to access a specific, say, site that you normally would download from an app without actually having to download the app itself. So say you're not a Facebook user, well, let's say let's not go with Facebook. Let's say Reddit. Take it for instance, Reddit, right? So you would be able to actually use Reddit without using Chrome. So it's kind of weird. It's not really a big thing, but you'll be able to use Reddit as an app on your phone for the time being without downloading the app itself. Because if it's something that you don't normally use all the time, then you don't need to take up your internal storage with the application file, but be able to use the mobile app version of Reddit for a short time that you're using it. J7 Perks. Thank you, Michael. So the J7 Perks, it's not the J7 Perks that got the update. It was the one before that. And I was surprised. I saw Jay Wills' video on the J7 on T-Mobile getting the 7.1.1 Nougat update, and I was like, I wonder if Boost Mobile's one's going to get it. I didn't think it would because, it's the CDMA version. And lo and behold, it got the update, and I posted a video about updating to it and then the noticeable changes. So for Metro and Cricket, Samsung, J7 Prime. Cool. But yeah, those ones didn't get the 7.1.1 update. The previous generation did. And like I said, so Samsung is obviously looking into that, into maybe, continuing software updates for their previous catalog of hardware. I think that feature is on 7.0 as well. You may be right. I may be wrong on that. Yeah, assistant apps. Yeah. I have Twitter Lite saved on my home screen rather than on the full Twitter app. Okay. But yeah, I mean, there are some slight, nothing major, but there are some slight ones. I believe that another one that they're doing or that they're working on now is actually, since you mentioned Twitter Lite, that's what triggered it for me to remember. The like the Google Lite apps, because apparently, I guess if I'm not mistaken, on 8.0 you could download like the Gboard Lite. So rather than having the full version of the Gboard, you would have the light version of it, and it's just like bare minimum keyboard and everything, and so it takes up less of your storage, and it would replace the native app on your phone, and pretty much like, I guess you'd say, free up storage in a way. And I mean, so there, I mean, there's slight incremental changes in the update for Android, but one thing I can say is that I'm kind of getting a little bit tired of the UI, the little, the material design. I think they need to come out with something different. Yes, the 2015 version. I don't even know why I went all that way to explain it. I could have just popped it up on here on camera for you guys to see. This one got the 7.1.1 nougat. But yeah, are you guys ready for a new look to Android? Like, is the material UI getting played out already? Because I'm ready for a new look and style. I mean, I know that they're saying that with the next version of Android, there's going to be some color changes. Color changes is not really a thing for me, I want to see a complete change. The split screen feature is a dud for me. As soon as you need to type something and the keyboard takes up the entire view. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna, that's what's gonna happen. You're talking about the 2016, the white version. Yeah, I believe that one. I mean, it came out in 2016 to boost mobile, but it's still considered a 2015. Because they had a Galaxy J7 2016 that was completely different from that one, and that was like the official Galaxy J7 2016. But yeah, I'm ready for a new UI when it comes to Android, like a new look and style. I mean, I kind of dig the whole thing. Like right now on my Moto E4 Plus, I'm running the Pixel 2 launcher, so it has like the Google search at the bottom, but I mean, it's still the same as the other Pixel launcher. You swipe up for your apps and swipe to the right for your Google Now cards. What phone records just as good as a GoPro? No. Like some of the phones that I've heard mentioned that have great cameras have been like the Pixel 2. If you're looking, in all-around smartphones, they say that the iPhone 10's cameras is pretty good. So I mean, I'm not sure because GoPros is completely different when it comes to their cameras. As far as Android user interface, I don't like the trend that seems to be emerging where Pixel phones seem to get exclusive design features. Yes, I agree with you, and I think that aggravates a lot of people. Like for me, I like the Pixel 2 launcher, and so I prefer to use it over the stock Motorola launcher, which is pretty much the stock Android launcher in a way. But it does suck when you have to search the internet to find, a developer who was able to modify the UI itself to be bondable with a non-pixel device. Like, having to have something like this and be able to utilize all its features, like, swipe to the right for the Google Now cards. I had to wait a couple of months before someone ported it over. I mean, we have a lot of genius developers out there that know how to do this stuff. You just have to wait. But I don't think that it should take the time of our developers to do something like that for us to be able to enjoy the things like that. That should be given across all Android. Even if like, LG and Samsung have their own, native UI, then they should allow the stock UI to basically be on top of that as an option without having to buy the Pixel phone. And yeah, like the slide out Google search app. Yeah. Oh, my lady's in here. Good morning, babe. She's watching the live show with all of us. So, with all of you, I'm doing the live show. But yeah, so I really wish that, yeah, I get what you're saying. Just, I wouldn't want it to be, just specific to Pixel and then have to deal with whatever else is out there. Like it's anything that's Android related, made by Google, should be available to all Android devices, unless the hardware cannot support that feature. Some people are tired of the Android look, so they download a new UI launcher on Google Play. or a temporary fix. Yeah, temporary fix, you know. But even then, like some of those launchers are based off looking like the stock launcher, you know. Like for instance, I mean, like you could do Nova. Let's see what Nova Prime, and maybe Nova Prime has a lot of customization in it, so you can either customize it to look like stock Android, or you can just make it go far left field. Do you have any experience with Project Fi? No, I don't have any experience with Project Fi. Never got to try it out. I was thinking about getting the Moto X4 on Project Fi and being able to test out how Project Fi works for me. Samsung to switch to their native Tizen software. Is there like a specific difference between that and Grace UI? But it's like we hear a lot about Tizen. I heard about Tizen being on basically the Gear watches, but I've never actually really seen. Oh, from years ago I have, but I've never actually seen like an updated version of Tizen on Samsung. So, morning, love. Okay, so you do live streaming about fly fishing. So you want something that a phone that is um, able to live stream onto YouTube while you're fly fishing and showing us some great spots, and at the same time too, be able to capture video in the same quality or similar quality to a GoPro. I get what you're saying. Um, oh, live fishing. Okay. Fly fishing is fine too. I tried it once or twice in my life. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, the top phones that I know of right now that have pretty good cameras that have been said to have really good cameras is the S8, the iPhone 10, and the Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL. But here's the thing. If you really want to test out the cameras, do what I do. And like, I know my fiance hates this because I always bug her to go to Best Buy, but go to Best Buy and play with them. I mean, that's one of the things I did when I got the Honor 8. I went in there and I was testing out the cameras, and I was like, wow, the cameras on the Honor 8 were really, really good for its time. And the depth and field that you can create with the bokeh effect was really awesome. So I ended up actually getting an Honor 8 a year ago. So just like go to Best Buy and just play around with the cameras. I have the E4 Plus. That's what this phone is right here. And then I did have a Moto E4. I gave it to my son, so he's using it now. So, but these were the Boost Mobile versions. I didn't have the Moto E4. That was the Verizon version with the fingerprint reader. But I have the E4 Plus. And I like the E4 Plus. Its cameras for me work great. They're not going to be comparable to the Pixel 2 or any of that. But the photo quality is good. But one thing I love about it is that you can adjust low lighting. Like when you tap the screen on the Moto E4 Plus for the camera, it brings up like a little bubble, which is, of course, like the focusing sensor. But it has a rail on the side that you can slide up and down. And that actually adjusts. It opens up the amount of lighting taken in from the lens that allows you to get a better shot with low light and to visibly see more. So you can take photos at night and get more detail in the background than like say my LG X Charge, which I also like. But the camera does good only if you have good lighting. If you're in low light, you're not going to get a lot of detail captured in background. So, but yeah, the Moto E4 Plus has worked out great for me. It's a phone that literally has me locked down right now, which is the reason why I don't do a lot of unboxings anymore, because I don't see a need to continuously keep buying phones. Plus, my other friends got that on lockdown. So CV Tech's got it on lockdown. He's buying phones left and right for you guys to, see the unboxing and whatnot. So he's got that. I'm more on the nerdy stuff now and just, conversating about what I see on the news and things like that. Is there a noticeable improvement in camera quality from the E4 to E4 Plus? No, not at all, really. the E4 surprised me, and the smaller version, the regular E4, surprised me on how well its camera did taking photos. So maybe if you were to blow up the photos, you would probably see a significant difference between them. But from the photos I've taken from both, they've been pretty much on the same level as far as image quality and attention to detail. Let's see. I'm pushing about an hour strong here, so I am gonna close this out on the last topic I want to talk about, and I'm just curious to know how many people still do it. Let's see, I heard the ZTE Max XL will be getting Oreo update eventually in 2018 for Boost Mobile. It may. It wouldn't surprise me. The Max XL is one of those love-hate type phones. I have one. I was thinking about getting another one, but I heard that the recent update fixes a lot of things, a lot of issues that it had. So it made the phone a lot better. So yeah, it's like a love-hate type of thing. I mean, great solid phablet. If you're looking for a really big phone that's like a cross between, a tablet and a phone, then I would definitely recommend the Max XL on Boost Mobile. Ever had consumer cellular? Your opinions if you have. No, I've never had consumer cellular. I've heard great things about them as far as like their plan rates and everything. And consumer cellular is mainly there for those who are not immersed in the whole technology. Got to have the latest and greatest, got to consume a lot of data. They're more, I don't want to be rude, but they're more for like senior citizens. I was hoping the Max XL would start a trend of 1080p, 32 GB low cost phones, but never came to be. Yeah, I can tell you right now, when it comes to ZTE, I think they more favor GSM networks. Their devices that they build for GSM companies have better specifications than what they build for companies that run on CDMA. I know a lot of people, when they heard the Max XL was coming out, they were hoping that this was going to be the comparison combatant to the Z Max Pro. It turned out not to be. Okay, so they have plans like the old Cricket Wireless from back in the day. I got you. Oh, stuffy this morning. But anyhow, guys, I'm gonna end this out right now. Thanks for your coming in and watching. I got some videos that I'm working on that's gonna be uploaded today. I'm gonna have them put out for you guys. Obviously about the Chromebook. So I'll have that shared with you guys. 3 gigabytes of data for $20. I could be old for that. Yeah, that's actually not bad at all. 3 gigs for $20. That's actually a pretty spiffy deal. But I appreciate you guys for coming in. If you guys catch the replay, I appreciate you guys for watching the replay. Everyone that joined in today, thank you so much. Again, thank you for the $2 tip. That made my day. I really appreciate that. Do you think that with the implementation of 5G, that will get away from the CDMA GSM split? Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, just to let you guys know before I end this, that's where mobile technology is going towards. It's gearing up for that. CDMA and GSM will technically be phased out, so that at some point we won't have to worry about having a technology split going forward. So that is something that I feel like that with the implementation of 5G that we're leading up to, I think that's what is going to have happen. What I would like to see more come to Boost Mobile is the ZTE Blade series. Yeah. Man, I think they have the ZTE Blade Force, and that's not a bad phone for $79. I know it's nothing like extravagant, but it is gearing towards that. I got a Metroid Android phone that records great. Love it so far. Made great live footage on my channel. Just wondering if I should upgrade. Well, what kind of phone is it exactly? I mean, yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much for the donation too, Pop Trigger. Um, what, to kind of end this off right now, when it comes to smartphones, I'm a believer in that if it works great for you and you don't really need a reason to upgrade, then don't upgrade. Use what you're using. You don't have to have what Joe Blow down the street has. You can, if you like what you have, stick with it and use it. My whole thing is that I like mobile technology and I like to review phones and talk about certain phones that are coming out to share information for those people that are on the fence about buying that phone. But in no way do I want to promote that you have to continuously spend your hard-earned money upgrading to a phone just because it's new. If you find a phone that you like, stick with it. Use it until you've literally reached the end of it. And that way you would have gotten your money's worth out of it. So again, guys, thanks for coming in and watching. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys very much. And I will catch you guys tomorrow for the AM live show. Till then, we'll see you guys next time.